break. So the previous low, and then when you look at this level, you need to find what so it's gonna happen. A job, probably a retest of this level.
Drop. Usually this is how it plays out. So our queue setup, this one is the most basic queue setup. This one is the intermediate setup, but then there's nothing so different on this one. The only difference here is this part here where we have a break of the queue level and then a fallback of price. But then what you need to focus on is your engulfing candles, your supply and demand levels. All the candlesticks are extended previously. They become very useful when it comes to spotting a setup and where it's going to turn and the entry price, right? So this one is the intermediate queue setup, right? So you want to have this level, and then this one I call it MPL, maximum level. Okay. You can also check it on the retest. Okay, one thing I want to outline this is the most important entry level or entry time is usually when we have our first visit to our trading level, right? This one is the highest probability of opening out. Usually I wanna put my cells here and then my stop loss just above that level, right? Our first visit to our trading level is the most important one because it has the highest probability of opening out more than anything. Now, if we have a second retest or third retest, it becomes quite a very risky trade. So you don't want to look into it. You only look for something that's only visited a certain demand or supply level once. That's it. Right? If it goes and reaches, it's much of a trade than anything. What you need to focus on is
Right. Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to
Right.
switch off your
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
you missed. Oh, okay. Let me just mute you. Okay. So you need to focus on what? Finding the first visit. First visit is the most important, right? So I'm just gonna go through out the charts and try to demonstrate how to identify your Q levels and all that stuff, right? So first, put this pattern in your mind. Make sure you practice it and you are able to recognize it with your eyes closed. And then you also need to look into this intermediate setup. It doesn't play out a lot, but when it does, it's most likely the highest probability trade. It becomes like a good trade. Okay. So let me just do this. Okay, guys, a perfect example of QM setup is this one. See, we have a rise, fall back, another rise, break up the previous high, drop, right? So this one becomes another very competing because you know why? What it did is it broke the previous low. So we only focus on this level. And this is sort of like a three kind wave. So we go 1, 2, and 3. It broke that previous level and went all the way up. This is why I had my settings around here. That's what we have. Okay, this one it looks exactly like our intermediate setup, right? So we have a QM on this level. QM on this level. This is where you wanna put your set entries. You see, it went all the way down from that level and fall back in. This is where you wanna put your set entries. Now the reason why I put my cell entries all this way is because of these engulfing candles. The engulfing candles, guys, are extremely important when it comes to plotting out the right trade, right? It helps you know when you're going to exit the trade, when to enter, and the setup that plays out, right? So, okay, let's see if I can find any candles that we are everywhere, guys. Lately, I've only been seeing supply and demand that playing out. Nothing more than that. Nothing less. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, this one. See exactly. Rise, drop, rise, drop. Okay, I'll just integrate this one. Drop. And we have a few setup playing up here. So guys, what I want you to know is I'm gonna outline the steps. Right? What you need to do is follow these steps and do not break the rules. Right? Basically what's going to happen is first step you need to know where you are in the trend, whether we are going in uptrend or a downtrend. Right? How do you do that? You firstly look at the weekly chart, right? And the daily chart. But then we have a specific pattern that we need to look for in a weekly or the daily chart, right? What we're going to look for in our weekly or daily chart is we need to find our engulfing candles. So basically, we are talking about these type of candles, engulfing. See, that's what we need to look for, right? And then, with that being said, this is where the Fibonacci comes in, right? Let's say you are in a downtrend, like you see this one is going all the way down. You want to put your Fibo 0% at the top, and then drag it all the way down to the reversal point, right? As you can see, it's quite obvious. Or see, we are at our entry to our second entry, so this is where we most likely have to put our sell entries, right? And we might want to put our, let's see, might want to put our TP somewhere out there. Right. So basically what you need to do is within this cell level or cell entry Fibonacci on the daily chart, you need to identify the pattern that falls up within this Fibonacci level. Right? What you need to do is okay, this one's gonna go down at 7. Guys, what you need to know is most of the time it takes time for these setups to play out and we meet our trading conditions, right? So usually what I do is I always wait for the trade to reach my level and then wait for price action confirmation, whether it's candlestick engulfing or whatever I'll be seeing at that level, and then I check the trade, right? So what you need to do is first step you need to look at where the market is currently going. Okay, where the market is currently going. So on this level we have actually we have our 0% here at the top. See, 0% at the top, or it's 100% at the top, and 0% at the bottom. Right? This is what you do. Whenever you are need to show that along the school, right? Conditions are stable. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, guys, did you get the Fibonacci settings? Hey, Brajablan, did you get the settings? Did you get the settings? Just make sure that you set up your Fibonacci level, your Fibonacci levels. Okay, cool. I'll be done with that. Now let me just go back to the whiteboard. So as I was saying, guys, here's what we have. QM, first we need to find the highs, and then the base that's from there. Usually you have to see our income patches just around this level, and also this level you want to see price reverse on that level. And then you wait for price to break the previous low and print out an engulfing candle, and then you check the trade. And then you want to have your stop loss just down here. You check the trade up to this level, and then you want to take profit here, and then you see, and then you hide it all the way down. This intermediate setup, QM, same thing that happens here, but then slightly, the only difference is just here. There's a slight difference here. There's a slight difference here. There's a slight difference just around this level, guys. So now that we are done intermediate or basic QM pattern, we're going to look into something even more advanced. Okay guys, I am so mad right now because we had some fundamentals out and then they all validated my setups, but on the cow nothing much. Okay, so one of the most important and the another setup that ever plays out is the advanced setup. Usually with the advanced setup we have the same QM pattern. Let me just end this one. We have the same QM pattern. Okay, this is our advanced QM pattern. So usually for our advanced pattern we have something like this. Same pattern plays out, QM. Okay. Drop, rise, drop, break the previous low, and then we want it to retest that level. Want to retest that level, go all the way down. Usually what happens is it just shoots up somewhere on this level, we want to have okay. So with this advanced pattern, we want to this. So usually it's gonna be an uprise, drop from the base, break the previous high, go straight to a major supply working zone, drop, break the previous low, go straight there, retest the QM level, drop, and then within this area, in between our major supply working zone, we're gonna have what? Fake out levels. So for a fake out level to be valid, you need to at least trade what? 3 resistance or 2, right? So basically it's gonna be like 1 drop, 2 drop, and then the third one usually just goes up, breaks that level, goes to a QM and drops, right? Guys, one thing I need to outline about this setup is I hardly see it, it never plays out, but when I see it, I go all in. These are type of setups where you want to wait, they never play out that much, but when you do, they play out a lot, right? So this one is our advanced pattern. Whenever I see guys, I'll send the chart, right? But then what I wanted to focus more on is the Fibonacci, right? What you need to know about the Fibonacci is okay, let me just click this. Right, that's what we have. So this is how to use Fibonacci with a supply and demand levels, right? What you need to know, guys, when we are trading, you need to have at least 3 or 2 strategies. First one, you need to be able to identify the major trend. Secondly, you need a strategy for entry. That means a strategy that's going to let you know whether it's the right time to enter or not, right? But then usually what I focus on is the flips, right? I want to identify where I'm currently at with the trade. So usually, let's say for example, I'm in an uptrend, right? And then the uptrend sort of like reverses on this level, right? If I see this reversal here, it's an uptrend. So what's going to happen? I need to put my fix on this level. So here it's gonna be like it's gonna be 100%. Okay, let's do this one. Right? And then here it's gonna be my 0%. Zero. So I might just take this one the other way around and just make sure. Okay. Okay guys, okay, very nice setup. As you can see guys, this setup corresponds exactly with our QM. Let me just zoom in. Okay, it corresponds exactly with our Q. Remember I said if we're in an uptrend, just like here, and then we see a retracement, you wanna know how long or where is this going to retrace to, right? So you wanna pull your Fibo 100% from the bottom to the reversal point. Okay, to the reversal point with correspondence to what? Why do we have a break of the 6.1 levels? Usually these are like the 50% level, the 6.1 level, our retracement levels, our entry levels. But what you need to consider is you always have to look at what? Look to the left and then you see our engulfings. Always, that's the number one rule. Always identify your engulfings before plotting your Fibonacci. Why? Because your Fibonacci have to complement your patterns, your engulfing patterns. Right? I also do have the same pattern playing out just around here. I have a pin, a daily pin, and then an engulfing candle after that. That's why you see I have my sell limits just around this level. And then once I pull my feet, right? So you see that an entry, nice thing, if you exit level, because of what? Multiple confirmation, right? I have. You see that, and also anything in magic can be accounted for. I want to know what happened here. I also have a level, which corresponds to what? Entry. There is no sharp entry with this strategy, but the most important thing is knowing where the trend. Since I've mentioned that there's no sharp entry or whatever, but you need to be careful of this risk management. You don't want to overexpose your account and then this. So this is why I have all this audio and the trade. Like there's no sharp entry, just like the people wants that strategy. There's no sharp entry here. So what you need to do is you need to be careful and use proper risk. You don't want to get into the market, you don't want to make it fast. Guys, is the video still stuck? Yeah?
Long time ago.
But it's okay now. Dang!
On my side is that.
Okay, guys, I think it's my fault. I forgot to share the screen. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'm gonna start from scratch, right? Let me just do this. Okay, guys, as I was saying, in an uptrend, you need to put your fib level where the uptrend begins. That's 100% there. And then here you need to put 0%, right? And then somewhere around these lines, you wanna have like 61.8 or 50% or 50%. Okay, these are our most important levels: 0, 100, 61.8%, and then the levels that I need to, which is 5, 0.05, 11, and 0.88, and all that stuff. All the levels that I mentioned before. Okay, guys. So now we are on the whiteboard, right? Let's go straight to the chart. Okay, I can't seem to remember what I said exactly because I'm talking. So guys, this is what's going to happen, right? So I said first, what you need to know is you need to identify the major trend. So as you can see right now, from the past, we were in an uptrend and then a reversal zone around here. That's where we have what our 0%, and then it went all the way down. 50% first retest, you see there was an uprise, so it was a short scalp, and then a break of that level. It went straight to 61.8%, and then it broke that level. And then where did it go? We have put our demand zone. So we have what? A red candle, and then a candle that closes 50%, way more than 50% above the previous candle, right? That's our most important area of interest, right? What you need to know is always look to the left, always look to the left, always know the major trend, always know the pattern within the major trend, right? Always know where to put your flips on the right level. Am I clear, guys? Control, what is it, bro? Okay, cool. So everyone is with me. So you need to know what first step, you need to identify your major trend, right? We are all the way up, and then we have a reversal zone, our engulfing right on this level, and you also need to identify where our major trend is going to retrace, right? If you miss an entry here, you can always enter there, so it doesn't have to be a necessity for you to chase trades or whatever, right? One thing of lecture outline also, you also need to look at the most recent price action. So right now I have what? An engulfing here, I can see that, and then I had a drop just around here, and then it failed to reach this level, it went straight to my QM. So in any way, in any possible way, I would want to have what? A break of this previous low, and then a retest to that level, because basically we want to have what? Our left side matching with our right hand side, right? And then as you can see, we have a base. So right now the setup is not yet valid. You only have to wait for the setup to break this level and maybe come to this level, and then that's when you can consider it as our trade setup. Right, guys? Are you with me? Okay. So since now I know that I'm expecting price to come back this level, what I need to do is I need to use my Fibonacci. Right? So we are in an uptrend again here. Drag it all the way up there. Drag it all the way up there. Okay. So now the tricky part about this setup is we have a demand level right here, and we also have a major retrace level right here. So the best thing again about this setup is we have a demand level here, but we also have what? Our 50% level near this level, right? So usually what I do when I see a setup like this, it is I take care of my risk, guys. I take care of my account exposure, and what I do is I just fill this level with buy limits. Proper risk, you don't have to gamble the market. I just fill this level with buy limits, and then I want to have my stop loss just below here, right? And then just goes all the way down, reaches that level, and then continues all the way down. Right, guys? Are you with me? Okay, guys, now that we are here, right? I'm expecting price to go all the way down there, maybe pick up my limits, and then I may have what? Another entry opportunity just around here, up until that level. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not saying it's gonna go there 100%. All I have to do is wait for the setup to pay out and then follow my trading rules, right? So, guys. Okay, guys, on this setup we've been engulfing, right? And then on this level we have a drop. These are the candlesticks I showed you last time. ask you to identify. So basically what you need to do is you just need to go to the upper chain frame and see if you can find an engulfing pattern. And then let's see. Okay, I can't find any engulfing patterns. And the only engulfing pattern I find is this one. The only engulfing pattern I see is this level. Okay, so okay, this is the only engulfing pattern I see. This level. So what do I want to see now is I want to go to the shorter time frame, which is the daily chart. See, there's an engulfing there and then a drop. So this one makes it a valid supply zone, and it has never been tested before. Right. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go back to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, I see the current wave is this one. So now we are in a downtrend. We want to see the retracement zone. So from here to there, and then we wanna put our waves, right? So since we have this level, we wanna put our 100% here at the top and our 0% at the bottom, right? And then if we were in an uptrend, just like here for example, from this level up there, we want to put what our 100% here and there. See, easy. Let me just change colors. Let's see. Let me just choose a brighter color. I'll check this one. Okay, good guys. Let's see. So as you can see, everything all the way down. Entry levels all been reached and then it reversed. Now I'm just going to focus on what we are currently on. So I'm just going to focus on the current market movement. Okay, so we have our 100% at the top because it's a downtrend, and 0% at the bottom because it's a downtrend, right? What I want you to identify is where is our next entry from this level up there. Where are we most likely to get a better entry again, right? So what you need to focus on is the 50% level and the 61.8 level, right? As you can see right now, we have a price action around this level, 50%. So you might have missed my levels there, or it might just go up, which is that level, and come again. So right now it's just a matter of waiting and see how price unfolds. Right? There's no telling where it's going exactly, and it's just a matter of putting up all my probabilities in place. Same thing here. So this one I'm just gonna clear out the whole thing. Just gonna clear out the whole thing. Okay guys, here's the tricky part. As you can see here, we are in an uptrend, right? All the way up there. But then I want you to focus on this level only. Right? We are in an uptrend with the weekly chart. Why I am mentioning the weekly chart? Because the weekly chart is a lot more compressed than any other chart. It's less noise and you can easily see where the market is going, right? So what you need to do is you need to take your bids from this level because you're in an uptrend. You know what you do. You put what 100% at the bottom and then your 0% at the top. So now what do we have? Would it be right if I say I'm going to buy with the CAD at this level? Yes, I might. Because why? First, we have a test on this level, our 50% level, went all the way up and then fell back in. Hope that we have close below the level and straight down to a 61.8 level, right? You see. So I'll buy this level, right? And also, always look to the left, always look to the left. What do we have on our left? We have an engulfing pattern where exactly in our buy area, which is what our 50% and 61.8 level, right? And also we also have what our untested supply level. So there's never been a visit to this level. So this is why we have nice entry QML and cost values to this level. So what you want to do is you point we have an involving. So this one makes it what? A stabilized level, because when price reaches this level, what? Drop. Right? And then you wanna plot it out. Always guys. The most important thing is you always have to plot out everything that you see on the chart. The more you plot out, the bigger picture comes together. So go all the way there. See? Because why? We have an involving pattern, and usually this happens to be what our decision point. That's why we have this whole thing now in correspondence with what with our decision point. It's a nice entry level, and then we might wanna hold it down up until it drops. Up until this level, most probably this level. Until that level. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you this. Why this level? Because when I look to the left, again on this level, I have an untested QMF. So it's one, drop, break the low, move all the way up, but then price has never went back to this level. So the only chance you can get to test is this. Are you with me, guys? I don't know if you guys are with me on now. Now this is why I have 5 entries, and you can also see on shorter time frames, you might just wanna see. Also, left click and another down here. See, and I'm pattern just around this level. So this one makes it better setup. Like go up, level, leaving some treatments, but eventually we will reach this level, right? And then also on the shorter time frame, you look here, you also have one our QMF. So on the left here, that's never be specific. So the treatment has to go all the way up at okay, so guys, I'm gonna look at another setup, and then I'm gonna summarize everything out, and we'll be done, right? So remember, you go through the major time frame, identify the major trend. So now we're in a downtrend, and then all the way from the top to the bottom, and you get a reversal at this level. So now, if you miss this entry, you want to see where your move enter. So what I'm seeing right now is, instead I'm going to insert this from line, look at this level. We have been indulging there. You see guys. Okay, we have been indulging there. What I want you to see is with this indulging test, you need to know where this current trade is going to end and where you're most likely to get the better entry. Now, this is where our fix come in play, because now we are in a downtrend. We need to put our 100% at the top and our 0% at the bottom to see what it is. This is exactly on the dot. So this is what I wanna do. This is what I wanna do. See? There. And then where would our GP be? So from this level, go all the way down, and either get another entry at this level or this level. And then maybe we go all the way up. You see, we get this level, another enlargement. Who's itching guys? Who's itching?
It's me. So this chat is.
Okay, let's just continue. Yeah, I can still hear you through. Okay, so as I was saying, You want to identify the trend, and then you want to identify where it's most likely to trace and give you another range. So now we have this 100% at the top, 0% at the bottom, which will put 8% there, and as you can see now we have another 50% here, but then you see price rejected and rejected, but then it didn't break, they were close below that level. So I'm still seeing high probability of going to this level, and then maybe continue dropping, and then you can probably look at this level again, right? Because this one is our best supply, right? The interesting part is if you look to the left, we pay through a rejection, drop, break the high, our QM, our MPL, and then that's what we're seeing right now. And then fail to test this level. So this one might be also our fake up setup, our fake out setup. And also this emerging is reacting. Mas agora não estou junto.
This could be the big gates, right?
Sharp, for instance. So feel what you say, as I was saying, when you look to the left, you see our QM, we have a break of this high, close up that high. So this one is not much of a pure pattern, but it's like a demand, it's like a pattern. It's not as strictly very set up, QM setup, but it's a very demand setup. Right there. Are you with me? Okay, guys, what I'm going to do right now is, because time is limited, I'm going to outline the steps that you need to follow in identifying these trades. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. Just want to switch up to the whiteboard. Squeezy. Yeah, Squeezy.
Sure.
Yeah, prayer.
Sure, Themba, ngiyakuzwa.
Ngiyizwa.
Sure,
Yeah,
mfethu.
record it.
Yeah, ngiyarecord.
Okay, I'm gonna start this.
Sure.
Okay, guys. Okay. This step. This step, what you need to do. You need to identify the trend, right? First step, you need to identify the trend. You need to know when you are with the market, and then secondly, second step, find all your supply money levels. Okay. What I mean when I say supply, I'm talking about the invalid channels. Okay, the invalid candles, and then the first step would be okay. So guys, the first step is you need to identify the trend. You need to know where you are in the trend. Second step, find all your supply and demand levels. That would be what our endowment candles. The third step would be you have to plot your fibs according to what you identified here in the trend, whether we are in an uptrend or a downtrend, right? But remember, if you are in an uptrend, your 100% has to be at the bottom and your 0% at the top. And if you are in a downtrend, you want to have what your 100% at the top and your 0% at the bottom, right? Okay, guys. So plotting with your fibs, you want to see these levels corresponding, guys. All these levels are 61.8, 61.8%, 61.8. What we have 50% and 11 and 5. What else do we have? 78. 78. Okay, these are the most important ones. 61.8, 50%, 11, 5, 78%. Right? All these levels that when you put them out after you identify the trend, they have to what? Correspond with what our endowment, and they have to be in confluence with our indicators. Guys, that's the most important thing, right? So I'm going to do this one step. Maybe on 3 charts or 4 charts, and then we're going to session ended, right? So first step, this is what I want to do. Share, let me make sure I'm sharing. Okay. So guys, as I was saying, you can choose any random chart. You can choose any random chart. So I'm looking at the weekly chart. I identify we're in a downtrend. There we go. That's it where we head, right? And what I want to do is I want to put like this. I want to put like this, and then I want to have 100% at the top and my 0 at the bottom because I'm dealing with what? A downtrend. Okay, so this is what we have: 0% at the bottom, 100% at the top. And then look, here's the most interesting thing. You see how price reacted when it reached the fib 100%, the fib 50% level. First, it rejected, but then why? If you look to the left, just around this level, you have what? And then I'll be touching, right? Even in I'll be touching, that's exactly what it is. This level, it's a nice level, you see. So, like I said last time, this would be what our decision point. Hence, you see, we have a rejection of price around this level. You see, even here we have the same thing, right? So price went back up to reach at this level, it might break to go to 60 or anything, but then I'm seeing a high probability of this that I'm paying out, right? So we are in a downtrend, go down, identify our entry, find our incoming patterns, make sure they correspond with our face, and that's it. And that's it, guys. All you have to do is wait for the setup to play out. You just put your orders right at that level and you relax. Like you don't have to chase the market, you don't always have to contribute, make money or be in any trade, otherwise for your account. Right? And then I can just take any random chart guys and do the same thing. Okay, so now I'm here. So I'm just gonna check this way. Okay, I'm just gonna check this one. So I want to have 900% at the top, 0% at the bottom. Interesting. This is very nice. Okay guys, do you see 50% at our supply zone? 50% at our supply zone. 50% at our supply zone. That's what we have. So I might want to see this trade go all the way up there. Drop to that level, and most probably go chest our major level. Okay, well, to be honest with you guys, I don't like the patience to hold trades for weeks and weeks and weeks. No, but I don't have that patience. Right? So usually what I do is I just scalp trade up to from 50 to 150 pips. That's it. That's my target price, and I'm out. Right? Sometimes you don't have to hold trades out all the way. You just have to reach your target when you are out. Right? You need to focus on consistently going in and out and managing our risk. Right? So same thing here. I'm gonna check this wave. So it seems like all the GPY pairs are going to react the same way. Same thing here, 0% in that level. See 50% is corresponding with what our even this level. So here we might wanna still at this level, maybe scalp, and then maybe look if ever reaches this level, maybe still for the major trend, right? Anything that happens in the marketplace can be accounted for. So on this one, I'm gonna check this wave. This wave, I'm checking this one. Because we're in a downtrend, you 100% has to be at the top. But then look the most interesting part is we have a break of our 6.1%. But then at first, we had a test on this level, rejection, and continuation. So this one is sort of like a scalp setup. Even test, reject, then continue. So you wanna put your sell entries just around here. Just down here or this level. And then all you do is wait. All you do is wait. Oh, here's another messed up setup. Gold. We're in a downtrend, right? We're in a downtrend. We broke this level, so I'm not gonna say it. Gold seems like a less of that. Let's sell it. So you see on my left, I'm just telling you just around this level. And then I might want to hold it out up until this level. Our engulfing here, and we also had an engulfing here. But then you know what happened when we reached this level? It dropped, but then it was sort of like a minor scalp, and then it went all the way up. Created a continuation pattern, broke that level, continued all the way up. So from this level, I might want to see what gold drop up to my 50% level, just around this level. Then maybe see a move up. Oh, so messy. This chart is there messy. All these slides up here. Exotic guys are the worst guys. So let's look at UVisa. So we've got UVisa here, shape. So with UVisa, I'm gonna look at what? The buy trend. So put 0% at the top, 100% here. So now you can see with UVisa we have a break. We have a break. First touch of our 6.1.8 level, it went all the way up, right? And then projected on this level, but then where did we project? Because we got on our left, we haven't been out of the chain. See? So if I check this wave, see it just reversed near our 50% level and then continue all the way down. Something here, let's see. That's one of the nice setups I've seen this week. So this one was just a basic queue pattern. Basic queue pattern, that's what we have. So you see, this one is an intermediate setup. We have a rise, projection, forward base, break that base, so I start to go up. And this one is a basic head and shoulder. So out the book for me. And GBP AUD, I wanna switch up to a higher time frame with this one. Okay, that's what we have. We have this. From my level, I want to see the median trend and all the way up. And then dropped and rejected one. Our 56.8 level. Let's see what we are going to do. See? It's like nice, very nice. See how we can do it. See, usually what I would have done is I would have put my limits just around here. Just enough to get them triggered. And just test if this level movement up. But what are we seeing? We are seeing a base again, and then a break of that base. And we are also seeing what our QM setup layout. See? Nice and easy. We don't have to chase the market, we just need the market to show you where it's going. And then we go back to our daily chart. Look at this nice setup. From our 61.8 level, it went all the way up. That's why I said, if you miss an entry just around here, you don't have to chase the market. You don't have to chase the market. But you need to wait for another entry level. Look at this level. It's another entry. I would have entered here, I would have entered here. And then I would have been profit. But then I didn't see this setup. I only here. Right? And then let's see from this reversal point. Still an uptrend, guys, so I was able to see this there. Look at this. From this reversal point, we have what? 6-1, then 8, and then we have a rally base rally. So I'm expecting it to retest this level. But in this one, it's on this 50% level, that's why we see a slight increase of price. So it might be a scalp or go back to test that level, or it might break, go straight to a 6.8 level, or retest this level. So it's just a matter of waiting and see how price unfolds. You see again. Okay guys, I'm done. And we're gonna host another webinar sometime next week, Tuesday. But basically I'm just gonna do the same thing. So guys, what I share with you is extremely powerful. What I want you to do is practice. Yeah, maybe send like 2 or 4 charts a day, just to familiarize yourself with this whole thing, right? And then your trading will get better, as I promise you. Okay, thank you. I'm out.